And that what in fact happened was Justin didn't harass Blake. Blake was interested in wresting control of this movie away from Justin, who was the director and the producer. She was just an actress in it. And used threats and coercion and bullying to do it. And to the point where this guy was in the basement at his own movie's premiere.
What I make of that is that if your wife is sexually harassed, you don't make fun of Justin Baldoni. You don't make fun of the situation. You take it very seriously. You file HR complaints. You raise the issue and you follow a legal process. What you don't do is mock the person and turn it into a joke.
My favorite part of what I've read of this suit so far is that Blake Lively did not even read the book that the movie was based on.
Correct.
And we're not talking War and Peace. This is a book that's probably written at a second grade reading level.
Yeah. Are you going to sue Blake Lively too?
Into oblivion, Megyn. And, and we're carefully considering other people that will be sued also. And some of
Ryan
it will
Reynolds?
come as a surprise. Ryan Reynolds, for sure.
Oh, wow.
Oh, darlings, grab your designer popcorn and settle in, because what I'm about to tell you is the kind of Hollywood drama that makes reality TV look like child's play. Can you believe it? Our beloved Blake Lively might be trading her Louboutins for prison slippers, facing a potential 5-year sentence. I mean, who needs Oscar buzz when you've got courtroom drama this juicy? Let me spill the tea from the very beginning, and trust me, this story is more twisted than those pretzel vendors outside the courthouse. Remember that magical moment when everyone, and I mean everyone, lost their minds over the news that It Ends With Us was getting the Hollywood treatment? It was like Christmas came early for book lovers. The casting seemed absolutely perfect. Justin Baldoni, the master of turning heartstrings into pure gold, was set to direct, and Blake Lively, our queen of razor-sharp wit and emotional depth, was ready to bring our favorite character to life. It was like the Hollywood gods themselves had blessed this project. The fans were ecstatic, the media was buzzing, and everything seemed destined for greatness. But oh honey, you know how Hollywood works. The moment those cameras started rolling, bam. The drama hit harder than a caffeine crash at a midnight premiere. Word on the street, and by street I mean those whispered conversations at exclusive LA coffee shops, was that our girl Blake wanted to sprinkle some of her signature humor into the script. Meanwhile, Baldoni was clutching his director's chair, determined to keep the gut-wrenching, soul-crushing essence that made the book a phenomenon. And the wardrobe drama? Don't even get me started. But oh wait, we're absolutely going to get there. For now, just picture this. Devoted fans watching in horror as their beloved adaptation transformed from a promising masterpiece into a battlefield of creative differences.
We've come across evidence that shows that even her own representatives knew that she was threatening and mean and tough and wanted to get her way. This is not something that we wanted out there. It's not something that Justin wanted out there. In fact, it hurts the movie. It doesn't help the movie.
My favorite part of what I've read of this suit so far is that Blake Lively did not even read the book that the movie was based on.
Correct.
And we're not talking War and Peace. This is a book that's probably written at a second grade reading level.
Yeah.
Let's keep it completely real, darlings. If you're adapting a novel that's all about raw, gut-wrenching emotion and deep personal transformation, maybe, just maybe, turning it into a laugh fest isn't the best move. That's exactly what Baldoni was trying to say. Allegedly, of course. We have to keep our legal bases covered, sweeties. But Blake's team? They were all about adding that sparkle, that sass, that signature lively flair, because apparently nothing says emotional trauma quite like a perfectly timed quip delivered in Couture, right? By the time those first behind-the-scenes photos leaked, and honey, in Hollywood everything leaks, fans were clutching their pearls in shock. This wasn't the soul-crushing, tissue box-emptying story they were promised. It looked more like Gossip Girl meets serious drama. The internet, being its dramatic self, absolutely exploded. Behind those carefully guarded studio doors, word is Baldoni laid down the law. Cut the comedy, or you'll drown the book's soul in punchlines and Prada. But our girl Blake, ever the diva, and I say that with love, wasn't having it. She insisted modern audiences need their heartbreak served with a side of wit, because apparently emotional devastation goes down easier with a chaser of clever comebacks. What started as your typical creative differences, as common in Hollywood as Botox and green juice, spiraled into something far more serious. Blake started dropping hints about being sidelined, but honey, Baldoni had receipts. And in Hollywood, receipts are worth their weight in gold. Now hold on to your designer handbags, because this is where it gets wild. Baldoni, in a move that screams go big or go home, slapped Lively with a $400 million defamation lawsuit. Yes, you read that right. $400 million, because in Tinseltown, if you're going to start a war, you better make those numbers headline-worthy. Why such an astronomical sum? Well, according to Baldoni, Blake painted him as some sort of directing dictator who shut her out of major decisions. But plot twist, he claims she was actually the one pushing for those comedic rewrites, demanding them even. So was our girl Blake really the silenced star? Or was she the puppet master pulling the strings all along? Depends on whose story you're buying, darling. In any other city, this would be your standard he said, she said situation. But this is Hollywood, baby. Here, we add enough zeros to make your head spin and ensure every gossip column from Sunset Boulevard to Park Avenue is serving up fresh tea daily. Because if your reputation is going to be dragged through the mud, it better be designer mud.
Are you going to sue Blake Lively too?
Into oblivion, Megyn. And we're carefully considering other people that will be sued also. And some of
Ryan
it will come
Reynolds?
as a surprise. Ryan Reynolds, for sure.
Oh, wow.
Just when you thought this Hollywood saga couldn't get any juicier, hold on to your vintage Chanel because this tea is piping hot. Whispers in the wind suggest that Blake Lively might have done more than just bend the truth. We're talking about potentially fabricated evidence, darlings. And let me tell you, that could flip this script faster than a reality star changes their storyline. The industry's most connected insiders, the ones who somehow always get the best tables at Craig's, are buzzing about text messages, meeting transcripts, and even some supposedly shady videos that tell a very different story about Blake's stance on all that comedic fluff she claims she never wanted. Now, we all know Hollywood lawsuits usually end with someone writing a check with lots of zeros while their PR team spins the story. But throw in the possibility of prison time, suddenly we're not just talking about damaged reputations and bruised egos, we're talking orange jumpsuits, darling. Could Blake Lively, our queen of perfect hair and even more perfect comebacks, actually be facing up to 5 years behind bars for perjury? In a town where NDAs are handed out like party favors and hush-hush settlements are practically an Olympic sport, some are calling this prison talk nothing more than a high-stakes pressure tactic. Settle up, or we might have to show these receipts to the authorities, they're whispering. And let's be real, nothing makes a star sweat quite like the threat of trading in their walk-in closet for a cell. Meanwhile, the rumor mill is working overtime, churning out new evidence faster than a Kardashian launches a new business venture. Every time you refresh your social media, another anonymous source is spilling supposed secrets. It's enough to make you wonder if these strategic leaks are just sophisticated pressure tactics designed to back Blake into a corner. But wait, there's more drama in this designer bag. Let's talk about Blake's apparent fashion flip-flop. Early script notes suggest she was all about bringing that high fashion flair to It Ends With Us. Think red carpet-worthy gowns and shoes that cost more than a small car. But when fans started side-eyeing these glamorous choices for undermining the book's raw emotional core, Blake supposedly did a 180 faster than a model on a runway.
I'm a man, and this is a story that is told through the lens of a woman. And especially when it relates to intimacy scenes and to scenes where there is a mix of intimacy and violence, I wanted to make sure that those scenes had a female gaze. As much as I can try to see the world as a woman, I never will be able to.
And darlings, what's a Hollywood scandal without throwing another A-lister into the mix? Enter Ryan Reynolds. Yes, Deadpool himself. Rumor has it he was the comedic mastermind behind some of those controversial lines and potential cameo ideas. I mean, when you're married to the king of witty one-liners, why wouldn't you tap into that comedy goldmine? Especially if you're trying to keep the audience from ugly crying their expensive mascara off. But oh, how quickly things change in Tinseltown. The moment those book fans started raising their perfectly groomed eyebrows at all the comedy, suddenly those Ryan Reynolds rumors vanished faster than a hot designer sample at a warehouse sale. The narrative shifted quicker than a celebrity changing publicists. Suddenly, Blake was trying to distance herself from any hint of humor faster than you can say damage control. Some insiders, and by insiders I mean those who always somehow know which restaurants the paparazzi will be at, claim Blake attempted to perform a disappearing act worthy of a Vegas magician trying to erase any connection to the comedic elements. But honey, in this age of screenshots and saved receipts, Those private suggestions can become Exhibit A through Z faster than you can say social media never forgets. Now, none of this is officially confirmed, but we live for the tea, don't we? Maybe Reynolds was never involved. Maybe he was just offering spousal support from the sidelines. But here's the real gag. This whole cameo situation perfectly illustrates the classic Hollywood domino effect. One minute, everyone's excited about adding some lighthearted moments to break up the heavy emotions. The next minute, public opinion shifts, and suddenly everyone's playing the wasn't me game faster than a celebrity denying plastic surgery. Meanwhile, Baldoni is sitting pretty with his stack of receipts, leaving Blake potentially scrambling like a starlet who just realized the paparazzi caught her in last season's shoes. Let's dive into the really serious stuff, this perjury business. Usually, defamation lawsuits are just about bruised egos and writing checks with more zeros than a tech startup's valuation. But criminal charges, that's scarier than showing up to the Met Gala in the same dress as someone else.
What I make of that is that if your wife is sexually harassed, you don't make fun of Justin Baldoni. You don't make fun of the situation. You take it very seriously. You file HR complaints. You raise the issue, and you follow a legal process. What you don't do is mock the person and turn it into a joke.
So where does this leave the adaptation that had everyone's group chats buzzing with excitement? Stuck in Hollywood limbo, darlings, and not the fun kind with tropical drinks. Investors are about as eager to jump in as celebrities are to wear the same outfit twice, especially with all this prison talk floating around. The marketing teams can't exactly craft a killer campaign when they're too busy playing defense against perjury allegations and those infamous comedic rewrites. Baldoni's still claiming he wants to honor the book's emotional depth, but at this point, people are more invested in this real-life drama than any scripted scene could deliver. One day, we're hearing whispers about hush-hush settlement talks happening in private rooms at Chateau Marmont. The next day, there's buzz about Blake's legal team preparing counter-arguments that could shake Hollywood harder than an earthquake. Meanwhile, social media is tracking every morsel of gossip like it's following a celebrity pregnancy rumor, torn between wanting a faithful adaptation and secretly living for all this behind-the-scenes chaos. And let's pour one out for the poor book caught in the crossfire. It Ends With Us is supposed to be this powerful story about growth and healing, but if you only followed the headlines, you'd think it was all about whether Blake's witty one-liners and designer wardrobe choices killed the book's soul. The million-dollar question, or should I say $400 million question, remains. Can this film be saved, or is it destined to be remembered as that movie? You know, the one with the lawsuit that could have bought a small country and the potential prison time that had everyone clutching their pearls? How did we get here, darlings? How did a deeply emotional story about healing and growth transform into this circus of lawsuits, multi-million-dollar demands, and potential felony charges? Only in Tinseltown, where dreams come with a side of drama, and even your biggest aspirations can morph into a nightmare faster than a celebrity marriage. Will Blake actually see the inside of a courtroom, or worse, a cell? Will Baldoni cash that massive defamation check? Or is this all just one elaborate power play to see who will blink first? Maybe they'll quietly settle, finish the film, and release it with the tagline, "Inspired by the novel and the most chaotic behind-the-scenes drama you've never seen." Because in Hollywood, reality often outshines the fiction it's trying to sell. This mess isn't going anywhere quietly, sweeties. In the coming weeks, expect more leaked texts than a teenager's phone, cryptic social media posts that would make the Sphinx proud, and carefully crafted non-apology apologies that somehow manage to say absolutely nothing while using all the words. One thing's for certain, we're all gonna be glued to this story like it's the latest must-watch streaming series. Meanwhile, It Ends With Us gathers dust on some studio shelf waiting for its moment in the spotlight that doesn't involve legal drama. Maybe we'll eventually get the adaptation we deserve, or maybe we'll just end up with a cautionary tale about how Hollywood can take a beloved story and turn it into something more dramatic than any script could ever be. Either way, Tinseltown keeps spinning its web of chaos, because that's what it does best. So stay tuned, darlings, because if you thought the prison time twist was wild, just wait for the next next bombshell. In Hollywood, there's always room for one more dramatic turn, and it usually arrives wearing designer heels and carrying enough secrets to fill a tell-all book. In this city of dreams and drama, even your biggest hopes can spiral into a whirlwind of lawsuits, felonies, front-page scandals, and a cast that keeps getting starrier by the minute. And isn't that exactly why we can't help but watch? Share your thoughts below. Loves, we're dying to hear what you think. Until next time, XOXO. I'm XOXO. I'm